In this video I would like to talk about probabilities and one of the two basic laws that make automatic trading so useful, and that is the law of return to the average. The average in this case is represented by this line. The red line symbolizes the average price of 5,000 candles, and whenever we are below this line, we want to buy, and above the line we want to sell, because it can be assumed that the extreme prices will always move back towards the average. This works quite well in most cases. That means for us we can rely on the fact that there really is something like a long-term trend, and we did hear at some point that the trend is our friend. And whenever we have breakouts, that is, when prices move very far away from these average prices, then it makes sense to open a position, and again in that direction at the average price. Now, of course, you can ask the question, what makes sense for the average price? Should we look at 5 candles, 10 candles or 100 candles there? In my case, I have built in here in the settings that I can select the number of candles. The default value would be 50,000 candles. I've chosen 5,000 here, and I've also tried this out before with a mass test. And so far my idea seems to be working out quite well. Here we trade just the current year to 28/6/2022. Now we accelerate the hold times and see how it develops further. And it all looks pretty good. When the end of the test period is reached, then we should also see a corresponding result. I didn't do this for so long on purpose. It's only about 1 year this time. But in fact, in the last few days I have very often traded through complete 20 years with it to find out how stable this system works. Because this should be my next system, which I also already use for a few days on one of my real money accounts. Here in such a strategy test, it all runs pretty fast, but you can already see all in all here are opened a lot of positions. So you could not trade this by hand in this way. So, I think that now our system is coming to the end and we should see a result. And then we can have a look at the details, because a lot of people rely on just a handful of positions. And a result that is judged based on the findings of less than 1,000 positions is not a system to me. Let's look at the result. Here we see that we made a total of 1147 trades. We made a net profit of $999.74. And that's how you imagine linear growth. However, this drawdown here, this is where most people close their system. And only if you have tested something like this before, then you are also able to endure your own system in such situations here without manipulating it. And now I can change the whole thing here and then just test it for the year before. Then I should be able to do this right here. Let's put this on full throttle and it'll go within a few seconds. And as you can see, sometimes a very simple entry logic is a better way to find out if a system works. This one also works with a random component. That means if I do 100 test runs, I'll get 100 different results. But all of those results help me test the stability of my system. And so on a rainy Saturday afternoon, you can just run a lot of 100 tests. And all this can be done with very little effort. The only thing you need is an automated system. In this case, it didn't work as well as it did the year before because there was this drawdown here for quite a while. In the end result, we made about $1,000 again, and the reason for that is that that's the value that I put in for my break-even stop here to hedge the system against losses. But that's a topic for another video. And in this video, you learned how to make the law of reversion to the mean work for you with simple moving averages. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.